Okay, so my name is Dan Case. I actually do academic technology here at Carroll College. So I kind of design classrooms and do all the AV for classrooms. And in my spare time, I run this Mountain Moot conference, which keeps it interesting. And right now, I'm just struggling with the rest of the world because we're all trying to order the same products to help start school in the fall, which creates its own little challenges unto itself. So today I'm going to talk about screencasting. So one caveat before I go into this is I'm going to do a lot of meta stuff. So I'm going to try to be recording my screen while being in Zoom. So if it goes down, please just pop back in, or I'll try to pop back in. I'm just going to say that right from the start. Hopefully we'll be okay, but you never quite know. Let's go ahead and start here. You guys should be seeing this now. So I guess I have a question first off, right off the bat, would be in the chat, if you could go ahead and tell me what you're using, what would you use screencasting for? So if you had a great screencasting tool, what would you use screencasting for? And can you guys chat? Can you chat, or I just can't see it?
It looks like you're having trouble seeing it, but we can see it. Can you go down to the bottom of the screen?
And where am I at here? Hold on a second.
You can also press Alt-H.
There we go. Got it. Thanks. You think I know that? Lecture replacement, demonstrating how-tos, technicals, delivering instructions. Nice. Perfect. That's awesome. So the idea here is that can be used for lots and lots and lots of different things. So having a screencasting application in your toolbox, I think is just going to allow you a lot of flexibility in what you're going to do. So this is kind of, are you seeing my whole screen? Are you seeing, no, you're not seeing this stuff. Okay. So this is kind of what I use screencasting for. Quick how-tos, feedback, reviews, flipping your course, narrated PowerPoints. I should put like student projects on there. It's not only just a teacher tool, but it's a great student tool. It's a great way for students to use it for different things. So like that. So recording your screen. So let's just say you're going to use a screencasting thing and you're going to record your screen. There's a lot of things you want to think about. And there's varying levels of complexity. There's all kinds of different screen recorders. And so you got to figure out which one's going to actually meet your needs. So as opposed to, this is a really cool tool, I want to use it all the time. What are my needs? And does this application or this program actually meet my needs, whatever I want to do? So do I need video editing? Am I sure that I'm going to do it first take and it's going to be good? Or maybe I just need to trim the front and the back. Sound editing, you know, do I have a decent microphone? Do I want to do overdubs? Do I want to do overlays? Do I want to interview people? How do I want to do that? Annotation is a big thing. Some people like it. Some people just like, I just want to record something. I don't really care about annotation. How do you want to share that video once you get it done? Is really important. And then the format, do you want to save that as an MP4? Is it .mov, or what kind of a format is it? And so how do you want to figure out? And then access is more of like a security. When you share it out, do you want everybody to see it? Do you want certain people to see it? Do you want to be able to control that? Saving it. So do you want to put it somewhere in the cloud? And then what happens if that service changes, or all of a sudden you no longer have access to that? Is that a big issue? So do you want to have somewhere where you can download it so it's saved permanently to your desktop or on a USB drive, so you always have it locally? Do you want to go to YouTube? That's kind of a big question. You have some permissions up there, but then there's some good sides and downsides to being on YouTube. And I guess, what do you want to do with that video once you have it? Do you want to embed it in something? Do you want to embed it right inside Moodle and have it play as an autoplay inside of Moodle? Or just have those as a link inside of Moodle? And then do you want to have comments around that? or does that not even matter to you? So these are all kind of things to think about when you're deciding what tool fits you best for a screen. So here's a bunch of different options that are out there right now. Camtasia has long been kind of the standard. It's been out there. We use Camtasia a lot for flipping courses. Has anybody used Camtasia? There's probably some people out there that are using Camtasia. Screencastify has long been out there, another one, and Screencast-O-Matic have been used quite a bit. If you're on a Mac, you have access to QuickTime. QuickTime has long been built into any Mac, and you can screen record any Mac with built-in software. You don't, if you have a Mac, you don't have to install anything. It's already there for you. And in fact, there's a new thing on, oh, someone just came in there. There's a new thing on PCs where you have this, I think it's called a gaming capture. I think it's mainly for gaming, but it's built into some of the Windows 10 machines and allows you to do screen captures and things. It's not even an application. I think you have to kind of Google. I'm not a big PC user, so I don't quite know this. You probably know more than I do. Oh, and then streaming versus downloading. Yes, and accessibility. Those are all good things that people brought up inside of things in here as well. So those are all factors to consider before you decide this is the application that I want to use. So I'm going to talk about, obviously, Loom. So why Loom? Loom has been around for, I guess, about 1.5 years, 2 years. And you can record in Zoom as well. I was training my faculty and I'm like, you can use Zoom, Loom, Zoom. And then people were like, okay, just figure one out. It was a great tool, but as of COVID, everything changed. As you know, a lot of these ed tech places were like, okay, we need to support educators. So I'm just going to mute some people here. We need to support educators. And so we're going to give away our product for free, which is great. And Loom was one of those tools that did that. So it was mainly used in the business world and different. So it's free for educators now. So if you're an educator, either K-12 or higher ed, it's now free, which is huge. You have multiple ways to record, which I like. There's both a browser plugin and a desktop one. It's instantaneous, and this is a key, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, but something that really makes this product, I think, a step above some of the other ones, and then it's flexible. So let me just jump out of this here real quick, and we'll share something else here. I'm gonna share. So here's Loom, and here's the pricing. It's always been $10 a month, but now it's free for education. And so if you click on that, you're going to come up with this. And the big question that we all ask in education is, okay, yeah, COVID came, it's free now, but is it going to stay free? So, you know, I never quite know the answer to that. They say it's a permanent change. So we'll just hope for the best on that. But the way you do it is if you are in education, and it's only, you know, it's $8 a month if you're going to use it and you're not in education, or you use $10 a month individually or $8 on a year plan. You need to sign up, and then it's going to ask you to verify your account. And just by verifying your account, you have a .edu, and then it'll take a couple days and they'll send you your account's been verified and you are good to go. So that is Loom. Okay, so big question here is, what do we do with it? How do we use it? So on and so forth. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to try to do this. Let me share my whole desktop here. Okay, and got one more browser here. Okay, so there's two things that you can do, and you can see my whole desktop, is that right? I'm assuming that's a yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. What you can do is, this is the Loom for Chrome extension. So it just resides up here in my Chrome browser. So if I click this, it's going to record. And I don't know if you can you guys see this? Am I good? You can see me recording here. So even though it says full desktop screen and cam, it's going to put a little picture of myself down here, and then I can decide how I want to record this. I can also move myself around this page. So this is the Chrome browser. Now, be aware that this only records in the Chrome browser. So I'm going to say full desktop, and it's still going to only record inside the Chrome browser. Does that make sense? I don't know why they say full desktop when it doesn't, but I can't break out. I'm constrained within this browser here, so I can't break out of this thing. I can change my my picture view to be larger, super large, or just small. I like the fact that it gives me that kind of visual down there. And when I'm ready to go, I can just hit start recording. And I'm going to share this out. And you guys should be seeing this. So now I'm actually recording my screen here. So I can be recording and move myself around, and it's recording everything within this area here. I can hide that little menu there, so it's kind of out of the way, which is kind of nice if you're just recording things. Again, show the menu. And then when you're done, you check the checkbox. It's automatically going to take you into the Loom console. And I don't know if you can see that now. The great thing about this is I can copy this link right there, and it's already posted, it's on the internet, I'm ready to go, and I can share it out just like that. So it's an instantaneous feedback. And what I've noticed is oftentimes I'll get a question from a faculty member or somebody like, hey, Dan, how do I do this? And I'm like, well, okay, first you want to log into Moodle, then you want to find the arrow that says this, and then I'm typing all this stuff out. I find it much faster to just click Loom in the browser, do a quick little tutorial. I'll grab this link and I'll just paste it into a Gmail account, and it actually embeds the video in Gmail and sends it to them. And I can be done. I can talk 10 times faster than I can type. So for me, that's a big deal. And I can also change this. This is your instructions, instructions on whatever it is. So you can name it to be whatever you want. It'll actually tell me the views, so I know when somebody's gone to see it. Or I can send it to the faculty member, and then I'll know when X faculty member has seen that. Mute a few people here. Okay, so then I'll know when they've seen it. I can also change the sharing. So I can make it so it's only shared with a certain people, or I can make it public, however I want to do that. I can also invite people and then add a password to it, which is fairly nice. A couple other things that you can do, you can go into settings, and you can have some comments that come onto this, or I can not have comments on that. This is a great way for have a dialogue around something, or I want them to watch a video and then do something. I've got all my analytics there. I've got a call to action button, which then I can change, like, okay, you've watched this video. Now I want you to answer this question. And I could link this right over to a Moodle quiz or whatever I needed to do. And again, you can customize some of the, the different way it's viewed, I guess. I tend to use this kind of thing here. But you have all this flexibility in here, which is really kind of nice. And then I would just put the URL here as to wherever I wanted that to go. You also have the ability to trim. So I can trim both the start and the back of this. It's really hard to do in between, but I do have the ability to trim just to kind of start and back. Another thing is the speeds. I don't know about you, but I've got some students that they're just slow talkers, and nothing wrong with that. But sometimes I'm just like, okay, Johnny, I really wanted you to just move ahead. I can watch this at different speeds, which is really nice, or I can just, cruise through things. So that is Loom for the Chrome browser. Does that make sense to folks? Any questions on that? It's like I've
I
got,
think I have two questions. One
Yeah.
is, does it auto close caption?
it does not auto close caption. I think there is a, no, there's not a closed captioning setting inside of here. And again, these things are fairly short, but you could, talk about what you're doing right down here in the comments. So that's not, doesn't prohibit it, I guess, but it's not really built in right now.
Okay.
One the good thing I do like about it is, you have some fun emojis, but is this download button. So if I've got what I like, I can download it, and it automatically downloads as an MP4. So I can save that MP4 locally for whatever I need. I don't have to worry about Loom in the future if they decide to change. I can also take that MP4, put it up in YouTube, and then embed that YouTube video directly into a program like Moodle if I wanted to. Because YouTube will embed directly where a Loom link, it'll just be a link, which again is fine. It just all depends on what you want to do. So you can upload it to YouTube, get closed caption. That would be, yeah, exactly. So you could download it, upload it to YouTube, it would close caption it, and then you could go on there. Yeah, you can make videos like Khan Academy. You have to be pretty impressive to talk like Saul Khan. But yeah, so that's that. I'm gonna stop this for once. Okay, so that was the browser, and that's the Chrome extension that just resides up there. Now, the problem I have is a lot of people go like this, is they'll say, okay, I want to record something. This is good. I'm going to start recording, and they're ready to go. They click on this, and they're like, okay, perfect. I'm up and running. And then what they do is they create a PowerPoint, and they bring their PowerPoint up. And they're like, okay, I'm going to talk over this PowerPoint. This is going to be amazing. But as soon as the PowerPoint comes on, I'm trying to, I can't bring this out because it's just stuck in the browser. So I can't bring it across into that. So if you want to do it, now I can still do this. It'll record my voice. It just won't see my picture. So I'm still recording an area there. So that's something to be aware of, that this is still, limited by the browser itself. So that's good. So let me go ahead and cancel this. And I'm going to show you another thing that you can do. Cancel, okay, sorry. This is the desktop version. So you can download the desktop version as well. Now, the desktop version, I'm going to launch this one. Hopefully it'll still stay up. And so here's the desktop version. It's telling me, what my camera is. I can create a custom size. This is what I really, really like, is this custom size. So I can just say, you know what, I just want to record this little area. And then I pop into that little area of my screen. Does that make sense? I'm going to close on that out. So I'm going to say I'm back in my PowerPoint here. I'm hoping you guys can see this. I've got a lot going on here. So if in my PowerPoint, and I want to record this PowerPoint. So I'm going to miss class on Tuesday. Maybe I want to give them some quick information about what they need to do. So I'm going to kind of flip it. Here's a PowerPoint I'm going to record. So when I would launch the desktop app, I'm going to do custom size. Now, custom size is only available on the Mac at this point. If you had it for the PC, you would just present your PowerPoint and then record the whole screen. On the Mac, you can do a custom size. And you can select different things here. I love custom size because I can just say all I want to record is this right here. So here I'm recording my PowerPoint, my amazing PowerPoint. I can start recording. It's going to count down. The advantage here is I'm recording my PowerPoint, but I also have over here on the side, I can go from slide to slide. I could also have all my notes on the side or my notes somewhere else on the screen. So if I wanted to go to slide number 2, I could talk about this and I say, okay, this is wonderful. This is great. And with the desktop app, you also have annotation. which you don't get in the Chrome browser. So over here on the side, I've got annotation. So I can say, okay, this is page 2. And you want you to notice that as soon as I do that, it stays there and then it goes away. So I can say, okay, today we're talking about the girl with the pearl earring. You guys need to focus on that. That's really important. And then as I start talking, it just automatically goes away. And I love that kind of targeted, focused, but then moving on. And I can say, okay, great. And now I'm going to go over to the next slide. We're going to talk about, this is Fort Benton, Montana. And I can say, this is cool. I can go to the next slide. And then I can actually say, oh, okay, now I'm stuck on top of something. So I need to bring myself up. So I can move myself. If I have something on my slide that happens to be in this area, I can move myself to different locations. Also notice that as I click, it highlights where I'm clicking, just by default. And again, I have the annotation functionality. I can make my annotations really big and say, I want you to do this. Well, that didn't work out so good. So let me make that smaller. I want you to do this. And then I want you to do this. And then I want you to do this because this is really important. But you kind of get the idea that it's simple and easy. I can also pause it. So all of a sudden, the dog starts barking. I'm just going to pause it for a second. My video's paused. Now I'm going to start it back up again. Maybe I needed a cough or something, and then I'm good to go. I'm going to hit stop. I'm done. Automatically, boom. So I was recording that for a while. My link is done. I can copy that link and send it off right now. It's not even worrying about uploading it. It's recording and then saving on the end at the same time. So the downside is you have to have an internet access when you're doing this. And the faster, the better, because it's actually kind of doing both at the same time. And so I could just title this, My Amazing PowerPoint. And then I can do some different things that I want to do here. So I want to share this out, and I can share it directly onto Twitter or right to Gmail or however I wanted to do it. But you'll see my PowerPoint, but I also have over here on the side, I can go from slide. And if I can get through it all, all of a sudden the dog starts barking. Let me see if I can. I can move myself around. Myself up, so I can move myself. So you kind of get the idea of what it's doing there. So I'm going to stop sharing here for a second. And let's see if we can answer some questions here real quick. Can you move yourself off the recording for this time? No, you have to, you can hide yourself. You can say, okay, I'm here, and now I don't want my video to show. But in that area, I couldn't move myself out. It's kind of constrained in that area. Any other questions here? Okay, let's jump back.
So quick, a question I have is, you said you can clip the end or the beginning, but you can't split it and then delete chunks, like if the dog barked before you heard, Yeah.
I don't think so. I've not had really good success with kind of clipping different parts out.
But in that case, you could download it, split clips and delete out with using something else like QuickTime. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, like QuickTime or Camtasia or any other product. So it's a quick and easy way to.
And your little thumbnail would still be in it. That's kind of cool because those don't offer that.
Right. Yeah. So you can kind of customize the onset there. But most of the time I find myself just doing really quick. If I can share my screen again here. Really quick videos. So I'll just do videos that are just, just really, really quick. Like, okay, here's a minute and a half. This is a minute. This is 41 seconds, minute, 2 minutes. So I'm just answering questions, which is, quick and easy for me. So I like that, but you do have the ability to do the other stuff. So there's a standard Loom account. There's the education account that you just verify, and how you want to do that. That Chrome browser extension that I was talking about, you can download. Tells me there's over 1 million users of this. So people have been pretty happy with the Chrome browser extension. The desktop app for Mac Windows, again, the Mac app allows you to do custom. The Windows does not right now, but that is supposedly coming. So you can record your, either like a screen, like in Zoom, when you share your screen, you can share a window or you can share your whole thing. You have that ability in Loom, but not a custom on a PC right now. Tips and tricks. Some people get carried away with screencasting, just like video recordings. And what I think has been great is up until this point, faculty, at least from my institution, have been really concerned about distractions, right? Like I was recording this and then there was a person outside shouting, or there was a car that went by, or the fire siren went by or whatever. And I do think that being in this virtual world, moving to Zoom, we're much more forgiving of those things nowadays than we were just a few months ago, when there's a cat that walks by or a dog that barks, or it's just part of life. So don't always try to make the perfect video. And if there's life happening around you, I think that that's perfectly fine. And people are okay with that. That's kind of hard for some people to give up. Keep it short. Don't ever make one over 8 minutes, even if you're doing like a narrated PowerPoint. We just have a short attention span. I can't tell you how many times I'll search for a YouTube video, and if it's 20 minutes, I'm thinking, wow, do I really have 20 minutes? Or if it's 4 minutes and I want to know something, that's where I'll go. And it's the same with students. Just chunk it. This is part 1, part 2, part 3. Even if it's a longer thing, just chunk it. Under 5 minutes is even better. Record what you need. The students don't care about what's all over your desktop. They don't care about what icons you have or distracting stuff. Just get what you need. So clear your screen if you're just going to do this, or just do a full screen and then just launch your PowerPoint full screen. Prep and annotation. Have everything queued up. So if I'm going to be talking about one thing going on Loom and then going to something else and then saying to going to this website, make sure you have everything kind of lined up before you start screen recording. So you're not taking the time of like, oh, okay, let me click, 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 click. You just boom, 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 done. And then security is important. You always want to figure out, what are the settings for this? Who can see it? So on and so forth. All right.
Dan?
Yeah.
If you want to do like an introductory piece for your Moodle course, do you just use the link and paste it into Moodle?
You do. You just do an introduction and paste it right in. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. That's
yeah,
great.
that's what makes it great. And so we've had people talk about all kinds of things. Like oftentimes you say, I want you to read my syllabus. And you're thinking, okay, how many students actually sat down and read the syllabus? So maybe a way to do it would be to talk through your syllabus. Make a little video of yourself. Here's my syllabus. I'm going to talk you through everything. And then I'm going to have a short quiz after where you're just going to answer a couple questions. But I've actually talked you through, like, this is really important. You need to definitely pay attention to this. This is going to happen later in the seminar, so on and so forth. Another use I've seen of this is oftentimes you'll have papers. So a student will turn in a paper and you're like, okay, I've got 20 students, they each wrote a 4-page or 5-page paper, and I've got to go through and comment on each one of these papers, right? And give them feedback, because that's vital. So what you could do, and what I found is a lot easier, is, let's see here. Let me just share my whole desktop here. So I'll just, 1 second. Got lots of different windows open because I'm doing some toggling here. Okay, let's jump out of that. Perfect. So here's a big paper, right? So this is a paper that somebody wrote, and I'm like, okay, I got to go through and give the student feedback on this paper. How am I going to do that? Sometimes it's much easier for me. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to launch Loom. I'm going to do a custom size, start recording. Boom, I'm just going to record this area, right? Start recording. And then they see me as I'm talking through the paper. So I can say, yeah, this is really great. You did some good things here on unique traits. I can be having my annotation tool open right here and going through and say, okay, you need to really focus on this area and do some comments on that. And then I could be scrolling down and I could be talking through the whole paper with the student and then just give them feedback. Boom, boom, boom. And so they not only see what they're doing, but they're hearing my intonation. They see my picture. They know what they did well, as opposed to just these kind of generic comments that take a long time. But I can burn through papers much faster that way. And I can just quickly send that off to Johnny. I'm done. I'm working on Susie next, and I'm good to go. So someone said here that the desktop version is better. Yeah, I got to tell you, I use the desktop version more often than I use the Chrome version. But I think either one will work just fine. So other things, any other questions that you guys can do? I don't know if this is like a short fire hose on Loom and screencasting, but it's one of those tools that I've been kind of waiting for something. I know Ryan Hazen has recorded a lot of videos for our faculty using Camtasia, and he did a lot of studies showing that there's a picture of me makes a difference. So it's not just audio, but sometimes it's an actual picture of a person. And I like the fact that Loom just does that by default. Again, you can turn that off or on, but it's just that quick and instantaneous thing. And the fact that it's free for education, which is huge in my things. Oh, so yes, they can be organized. I can talk you through that. Once you get on to, let's share my screen one more time here. You can see here that this is the Loom console. So you've got your videos, and they all kind of pop up into here. You can also create a new folders that then you can add. I'm creating folders over here. So, and I can then add a description and create different folders and put all my videos in different folders. So you could have multiple courses and archive all your videos for teaching these 3-4 courses, or this, so on and so forth. Activity feed gives you kind of what's happening, so I can track. So if I have a student that comes to me and says, you know, I logged in and I watched your video, and I could track and say, well, actually you didn't log in and watch my video. So there's different things there. So you can create all these different folders and then share folders with your different classes and things like that. So that's kind of organization. And again, like most tools, it's continuing to get more robust as time goes along. They've only been around for, I think, about 1.5 years, 2 years or so. So it's something that you can take a look at. And yeah, the best way to get to that desktop app, which is sometimes it's kind of hard to find, is once you get in, is log on and get that desktop app. Okay. All right. I don't know if that was, did anybody have any more questions that they can talk? We can make this interactive. Seems to be pretty quiet out there. The best way to play with Loom is just go out there, download it, try the browser extension, try the desktop app to get it free for 14 days. If you're an educator, if you're not an educator, you can decide whether it's worth the $8, $10, whatever it is. But I just find myself using it more and more and more and more applications for it. And so.
Dan, with Loom, would it be difficult for kids to download papers and then for you to bring them up? Or like when you brought that paper up, how did you just pulled it up from your desktop?
Yeah, that paper was actually a Google Doc that I had in Google Docs, but it can be in Word, and I would just, download it and pull it right up and then just kind of screencast right through it, just narrate it right through it. But I've just felt like I can bust through papers a lot quicker than having a stack of red marks all over them or whatever it is to do. And it's more personalized feedback. But also I just, on that everyday, you get a question, how do I do this? Or if there's something in your course that students struggle with, there's always a point where, okay, I'm going to assign this lesson and they have to go to this website and they have to log in. They have to make sure they click this little link that's really hard to find. They line up outside your door. Just create a short little tutorial about it, post it up and say, hey, watch this. This will walk you through the whole step. Install this application or whatever it is. So more of that how-to. But also having students do that as well. You can have students they love creating content, right? So maybe you want them to describe something. So maybe it's a Google Heritage site and like, okay, I want you to do a report on this, but I want you to walk through and talk about it in your own words and like, tell me about what you're finding or your research paper. Or you've created this artifact. I want you to talk to me about this artifact and share it with the whole class. So the whole class can hear about your artifact, not just me as a teacher. So if you're grading Moodle, do you post? Yeah, you could actually, you could post that link right inside Moodle as your feedback link in that box. So here's your Loom video that is recorded for your feedback. Yeah, and give them a grade right inside of Moodle. So that's a great way to do it. Loom for Teams. I think that's coming shortly. Is that right, Solange? I know they've been working on that.
Yeah, I just saw that they're looking at the beta version is available. I was just wondering if anyone's tried it yet.
Yeah, I haven't tried Loom for Teams. I know that that's something that they just rolled out. So we'll have to see. So I don't know. I guess that's about it. I guess, the best way to get these tools is just download it, play with it. If you like it, that's awesome. If you don't, toss it, try something else. Don't make the tool fit to your needs. You should fit, the tool should fit what you want, I guess. It's not just, you shouldn't fit to the, I get all confused there. You shouldn't adapt yourself to the tool. It should fit to you.
Dan, I like the idea that students can upload to it. Do they need to download the Loom website or whatever also then?
Yeah, so they could just put it as a Chrome extension in their browser because they're probably
Okay.
doing stuff on Chrome. I mean, it works on Chromebooks as well because you're recording your screen top on your screen down there. Or they can download the app. I don't know about for younger kids, definitely for the older kids. Or if you could have it pre-installed for them, that would be great. Yeah. But because it's free and it's simple and it's easy, I think they kind of like that. So great. Oh, and then I guess the last thing is that Moodle embedding. Oftentimes, if I wanted to show up for some reason Moodle, and you can embed it using H5P, but it's kind of a wonky thing. Solange, you might have more information on that than what I know. But typically, it comes down as a link, and you can put that link right in Moodle. But if you make it a YouTube video, then that link will then just show up as a YouTube in Moodle. So that's the kind of trade-off. If you want the actual video to show up on the Moodle page, go to YouTube and put it down. If you just care about it, just a link works just the same, that's fine as well. So, but this is for the distance learning. This is great to have students, if you're not going to see them face-to-face, have them, do some kind of artifact and then record themselves talking about that artifact. Even a math problem, talking about how they did it, get their explanation behind it or whatever it is. We can learn from that. So
Speaking of math, does it have equation editor to it, or where you can do the square root signs, or you could draw them, I guess?
no. So what you would do then is you would actually go into a drawing, a map application, drawing everything, and then just do everything and be recording what you're doing and then just talking through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sounds good.
So yeah, so you could use it for just about everything because you're just recording whatever it is you're sticking underneath it, and that could easily be a map app, a GIS, Photoshop, whatever you're talking about. So with that explanation, and you can see where people get hung up. Oh, I thought, So, well, great. We've got about 9 minutes left. I guess I'll give a lot of moot coin. I'm not quite sure how this is working, but you're in a session with one of the main guys, so you get extra bonuses for this. So I'll make sure I get a bunch of bonus moot coins headed your way. But I really want to appreciate you guys doing this. Thanks so much for coming in and joining us.
And it's a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Cool. All right, everybody. Well, I shall see you, I'm sure, in the virtual world at some point. Okay, take care.
You too.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. This is David. Hey, our school, this is kind of off topic, other than Loom. Our school is not, well, the only LMS that we have right now is Google Classroom, which is a glorified bulletin board, if you will.
Right.
It's very cumbersome, and students got disengaged very quick just because it's not very dynamic. I teach art, and so I think our school's looking at Moodle or Canvas, and I don't know. I kind of like Moodle because I used it years ago at the Bozeman Public Schools.
Okay.
I don't know. How
Well,
could I?
yeah, about the only thing, I mean, Canvas is the bright and shiny new person out there. And if you were to put them side by side, being a graphic designer or an art teacher, you're gonna be like, okay, Canvas blows away Moodle. I'm just gonna be straight up with you. From a look, from an aesthetic point, it looks amazing. It doesn't have all the features, whistles and bells that Moodle has.
Yeah.
But oftentimes a lot of teachers don't need that. But I'm a big proponent of Moodle because it allows us so much more flexibility. But the big thing, at least for Carol and for us, has been the fact that it's open source. It gives back to the community, and we self-host it, which means it doesn't really cost us anything.
Right.
Where, you know,
That's what Bozeman did. Bozeman self-hosted it. But, you know, we had a big attack here a couple years back from, yeah, it was pretty bad. Pretty much the whole Flathead County was affected, part of Lake County too. So the Dark Overlord Inc.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a ransomware type thing. Well, it began as a, well, anyway, yeah, we were just, it started in our district though, unfortunately. So they're kind of wary of hosting.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that can make you gun shy, no problem. Yeah. You could go with a hosting solution. So there's a lot of companies that host Moodle, like eThink is actually sponsoring us. eThink is a hosting solution. My learning consultants, which is Michelle Moore and those folks, they host it on Amazon Web Services. So you just pay them and they kind of maintain it and do all the security. So if things happen, then you have the ability to have a fallback person, I guess.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had my video off.
Kind of handy. It's just not an easy answer. Yeah, I mean, we're big proponents of like a full-on LMS, whether it's Schoology or Canvas or Moodle or something, just to keep the structure. You give kids that kind of standardized engagement platform. But
a lot of it was like our students had, you know, severe click fatigue, you know, because in Google Classroom you have to click everything.
Oh.
You know, it's a click to go here, a click to go there, and a click to go there, and then email is not integrated, so that you have to click outside to go into Gmail.
Wow.
And it's pretty cumbersome. If you want to look something on the you know, on your calendar, you have to actually go. It's a link that goes to Google Calendar. You know, it's just a lot of my daughter, you know, she's in 7th grade last year, and yeah, she's like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, I feel for a lot of the K-12, and a lot of K-12 schools had Moodle, but it was just never really adopted because it does have a learning curve to it, and I'm sure you saw that in Bozeman. Some teachers used it and some teachers didn't.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then all of a sudden, we're all thrown into this pandemic where everybody needs to be on something. So I wish I had an easy answer for you. Have they looked at like Schoology or any of the other ones that are really geared towards K-12?
They looked at Schoology and they had a team, and yeah, I think they boiled it down to either Moodle or Canvas, but they're leaning more towards Canvas. So
Yeah. I mean, Canvas is a bright and shiny, easy thing. Moodle's like 3.9 is the version we're running right now. It's a version of Moodle. They just announced at the Moodle conference right before this, actually last week, that version 4.0, the major focus is going to be on the UI. They're going to make it look better because they're losing clients because of that fact. It just doesn't look as nice and as easy and as simple as.
Yeah, it's sort of late 1990s, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the problem, they've been doing everything for everywhere. I mean, they're trying to support US learners and people in Ethiopia and Singapore, and you know, everybody's got different methodologies. And so.
And I know way back when upgrading to the various different versions of Moodle was not an easy task most of the time. I remember that bit because I helped with some of that. It was
It's better now. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's still open source, and but you might want to look at like a hosting company that can do things for you, and then compare it. Okay, we've got Canvas, X number of dollars. Here's a company that will host Moodle for us and give us training and everything, and they're X number of dollars. And I think when you compare those, and you know, it may not be 1-to-1, but you might see that Moodle's a third of the price. And in these times of declining tax revenue bases and things, I just don't know. I know that, but the funny thing is Dearborn Public Schools in Michigan, one of the big proponents of Moodle in the K-12, their district, they've developed themes for Moodle and everything. Their district just went and bought Canvas and I think it cost them $151,000 for the district a year, Canvas.
crazy.
And so, they were baffled by it all, but.
I grew up in Michigan.
Oh, okay. And there you go. So I wish I had an easy answer for you, but yeah.
Well, thanks for your input though. That was helpful.
Okay. All right.
Thanks again.
Take care. All right. See ya. So wait a second. I have one question for you before you go.
Yeah.
You teach art, but you were in that cardboard circuits class.
Yeah. I use circuits all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my degree is in mathematical sciences.
Oh, okay.
And I have a dual major of art and math, and I'm dually certified, and I can teach both. The funny thing is that my advisor at the time, because I was just pure math, he's like, you need a second, credential in case, this math thing doesn't work out. There's, at the time, was it 2008, the market was flooded with people.
Oh, wow.
And so he's like, you should have something else. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do art. He's like, well, no, you probably want to do something like science or. He goes, you'll never get a job in art. And anyway, I teach a lot of math. In fact, the most often quote I hear in my class is, Mr. Ritter, isn't this art class? So I have math problems of the day, like kids give me their hardest math problems or math problems of the day, and I do them on the board for them. And math was not my go-to as a young person, so I struggled quite a bit. And then, later on in life, I got it, and it just came. And so I understand the struggling learner, and so sometimes I can put it in a different way than, someone who comes from a pure mathematical mind. So
Right. That's a
and
huge.
math and art are so closely related. I mean, it's all about problem solving, really.
Right. Yeah.
But I use circuits in my class. Like I teach them how to find a resistor in a circuit. We use LEDs quite a bit. We use Arduinos.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're crossing over to the CS world even.
Oh yeah, we do programming too. I use P5.js in class. It's a library of JavaScript, and so it allows you to do kind of creative. In fact, I'm giving a talk next month in Kalispell, creativity, math, and
Wow.
so you can use polar coordinates to create this thing called generative art.
What conference is that for? A conference? Is that just?
Yeah, it's a STEAM conference at Glacier High School.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're not in the Flathead Valley anymore, or where are you at now?
yeah, I am in the Flathead Valley. I teach at Columbia Falls Junior High.
Okay. Columbia Falls.
Yeah, I was living in Bozeman when I was going to school, and I worked at Bozeman High School for a short stint. I taught math. Had one math class that I taught. I was like 0.25 FTE or something like that. I worked in the mathematics lab and did credit recovery with the Digital Academy.
Okay.
Digital Academy.
Yeah.
All that stuff. But yeah, I needed a full-time gig, and then this job came up, and I used to live in the Flathead, so when the job came at the junior high, I applied, and yeah, had a great interview, and I'll be going to my 9th year next year.
That's awesome. Great. Yeah. And you guys, are you guys?
Long answer to your question. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's great. So are you guys swamped right now with visitors at Columbia, or not so much for Glacier? Since it closed?
Oh yeah, Highway 2 is flooded with out-of-state plates, and it's like COVID never happened.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's kind of troublesome in some ways, but
Yeah. And like everybody
Yep.
just saddled up their RV and decided to drive to Montana, it seems like.
well, yeah, because testing here, I don't think is very accurate. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into the misinformation thing, right? We got to be careful.
Well, awesome. Well, great. Well, thanks for staying after. Yeah, and best of luck. If you have any questions about Moodle, we're happy to help, or if you can direct somebody our way, we'd be happy to talk to them and they can get a better.
Yeah, our curriculum director, Dot Wood, has been kind of heading this up, and maybe I'll float her your name and contact info, and I don't know, see if she's interested in talking to you about your experience with Moodle and how you use it there at the college. And I love the campus, though.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, my daughter's well, yeah, we've spent a lot of time at the music hall next kind of adjacent to campus there. The muzzle with the mosque.
Oh, right. Yeah, Hellenic Civic Center. Yeah.
Yeah. Lots with the Hellenist Symphony there. Spent some time there a lot.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I used to work for the Oregon Symphony back in Portland, Oregon, back in the 90s. So.
Yeah, and then the outdoor concert, it was always a hit too. Summer show.
Yeah, I know. We lost all that stuff, which is.
I know, right? It's kind of a shame. It'll come back.
Yes.
All right. Thanks so much.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.